Y'all know what's going on. It's time for another episode of Doing Time with Joe. I'm your host, Joe Baker, and welcome to the show, y'all. Look, Taylor is packing up all his stuff. He ain't got a lot. But he's packing up all his stuff. All the lights on. Everybody's looking. Cuz them hollering at him, said, "What's going on over there, cuz? Where you going?" It's 2 in the morning, y'all. It's 2 in the morning. Listen to me. I've been packed up early like that once before, and I got shipped, right? But see, they just bumped down on me, you know what I'm saying, shipped me to another penitentiary because back when I was in rotation, I was doing all kinds of stuff. So it was any time of the day or the night, I'm supposed to get moved. Thankfully, that don't happen no more. But anyway, so he getting shipped at 2 in the morning. That's what he thinks he's getting shipped anyway. He don't know what's really going on with him, but they got him. And then when he coming out, he ain't saying nothing to cuz now. Now keep in mind, let me tell you something. When you get pulled out like that and you getting ready to get moved, you're going to let the homies know where you going because you don't know what's going on. Unless you do. He knew where he was going. He was going to the back. He was going to PC. So, cuz them having some experience in this, they're not stupid. They're not stupid at all. So they listening, trying to hear anything that the captain might be saying to them. So the officer, he grabbed one of the bags and he helps him take the bag downstairs and put it in the buggy. And then you can hear everybody in the park. They say, "Dang, the police helping him pack. Police moving his stuff for him." So then that's when they go on and push the move. They say, "Man, hey, cuz, man, look here. You don't tell us what's going on, man. Ain't nothing on you, man." He got his last bags in his hand and he's walking down the stairs. He drops his head and he keeps walking. He don't even say nothing to the homeboy. So all of them start yelling. "Man, ain't nothing on you, cuz. You know what it is, man. SOS on you, man. No matter where you go, no matter what you do, whether you're in the penitentiary or on the street, you know what it is, cuz. You know what it is. And if anybody get in trouble because you running your mouth, because that's what you done had to do, you don't want to say nothing, then you know what it is, man." So he dropped his head. Captain and the other officers, they looking around. They looking at the cell. They trying to remember where did they come from? But it's coming from every location, so they don't know. So now they know that this man's life is in danger. They know it. But that's the game that you play. That's the game that you play. Now they got him, meaning the warden him, they got him where they want him. Got him where they want him, but this man got about 8 more years left. He ain't done no real time on that 9. But they got him. Got him in advice. And on the way out the building, the officer heard the captain talking to one of the officers that he brought over to help move Taylor to the back. Said, "We'll be back. We got some things to work out. Once we get that straight, we'll be back." So when they get him outside, he walks right into STG Simpson and IA Malone. See, they didn't come into the building. They didn't want anybody to see them. So they stayed outside the building. And now while they're walking and pushing the car, now see, everybody done ran to the windows now so they can see when he walks by. Right? But see, IA Malone and STG Simpson, they're smart. They got on the green. See, the officers were this green. So you can't tell if they're officers or administrative people, right? See, because they usually wear different clothing, but sometimes they'll wear the same clothing. We don't really know why, but they do. But in this particular situation, it worked out to the police's advantage because they couldn't tell. Because you had some people say, "Who is that? I don't recognize them." But you got to keep in mind, too, it's dark. But they got the lights on the outside of the penitentiary. Ain't never pitch dark in the penitentiary. They got lights on. You always want to see in the penitentiary. But you couldn't really tell who it was because they was walking kind of fast. So once they were gone, they were gone. And now the speculation is all over the place. But while they're pushing him to the back, he's getting questioned. Because when they get to the back, they don't want to go in with him there because people in the back, they might still have contacts with people out on the compound. Might get in touch with them and let them know, man, they brought him in with IA and STG. So they're trying to be real cautious about this. So while they're going to the back, they're getting all the information that they can. They want to know who's doing what, how they're doing it, where they're doing it, and who's helping them. They want to know if they got any crooked police. They want to know all of that. And he's answering every question. And guess what? The clerk is still in the unit throwing up, sleeping. The high is gone, and he's doing okay. But because Taylor was so paranoid that it was going to be found out what he was doing, he told everything. He told everything. Now look, the next morning, a couple of hours later actually, when they open the doors and everybody comes out, here come the clerk. See, now the clerk hadn't been out because the clerk been sick, throwing up. But the clerk comes out looking for some more dope. And he talking to cuz now. And now look, when you go to the hole for stuff like that, people really don't know why, or you're checking in or whatever. See, now everybody is throwing dirt on you. They're scandalizing your name. So the clerk, he tell one of the big homies, he said, man, Taylor had some X pills. Listen to what I'm saying now. This is the story. This is how this went down. Listen to what I'm going to say. He says Taylor had some X pills, and he let me put them up in his rectum. So they looked at the boy. They said, "What? Wait, what'd you just say?" He said, "I stuck some X pills up in Taylor's rectum." So the big homie, offended by that, he smacking, pow, open hand, popping real good. So the boy ball up. You know, that's what they do. He said, I'm sorry. He said, but I'm telling you the truth. Because once he done went there, he came back up. So one of the young homies lifting him up. The big homie said, standing back up. So he's standing up. He said, man, don't be lying like that. He said, I'm telling you the truth. He was freaky like that. He liked it like that. Man, the big homie and them looked at him and they're like, man, get him away from me. And he's like, can I get something? So the big homie tell the little homie, give him something, man, and get him away from me. So now they sitting there, all the homies are sitting around, they starting to think. Was he letting the boy stick his finger up in him? Or what they doing? What they got going on? So now they trying to question it. Did they get tricked? What's going on? Why would he be doing that? So some of the other homies, they started talking, say, hey man, you know how that X is? And the big homie was like, nah, I don't know how that X is. I ain't never messed with that stuff. So some of the other homies talked about what it does if you use it that way, how it absorbs into the body real fast and it lasts long and all this and that. And he's looking at them like they're crazy because he's like, why not just take it by mouth? Why would you do that? And really, can't nobody explain it to him because they really scared of the big homie because the big homie looking at them like, man, what's wrong with y'all? So he's starting to question a lot of things. But Taylor's fate is sealed. His fate is sealed because once people start dumping all of these things on you, it's hard for you to be able to regain your credibility. It's hard to rehabilitate your image. It's hard in the penitentiary in the first place. But when they done start dumping all this on you and you working with the police, it's almost impossible. Almost impossible. Because see, here's the thing. When you're dealing with the administration, now imagine this. See, they know who's, where, when, what their circumstances are. And let me tell you something. They got profiles on everybody in the penitentiary. And see, Crocket Correctional Facility, this is one thing they were real good at, moving people around. You know what I'm saying? Moving people around and making sure that situations are best for the institution overall. So they know how to put people in positions and then apply just enough pressure so that if they put somebody on the compound at another place and they brought somebody else in, they would be able to soothe the waters. Now let me tell you something. I know a lot of y'all listening to the show think that the gang members are under no illusions about what happened, but in all situations, they're going to go hard. Now, 60, 70, maybe even 80% of the time, I would agree with you on that. But see, there are those rare occasions where situations happen and you just scratch your head and be like, Why they ain't doing nothing? But let me tell you why. See, because Crocket Correctional, like I say, they got profiles on everybody in the penitentiary. And let me tell you, they know all the secrets. They know who's told, when they've told, who testified at trial, who didn't testify at trial, who's worked with the police, who hasn't worked with the police, who's going, who ain't going. They know all of that, and they know how to manipulate that very, very well. And they know how to get people to do things that they wouldn't normally do. Because see, the environment in prison is so toxic that all you're doing is surviving the experience. You're not living. You're just surviving the experience. And whether you're surviving for 5 years or 50 years, it never changes. So you always have to put yourself on the side of what's best for you. What's best for you? And sometimes what's best for you is best for the gang that you might belong to, right? But then there are other times when what's best for you is what's best for the institution, right? And that's because most of them have a secret that they want to keep. And when you can keep that secret, you can keep yourself safe. You can keep yourself safe. So when Taylor got moved to the back, he was assured that he would be okay. Now, he had no reason whatsoever to believe that. Why would he believe that he would be okay? Because he's a Crip, he's a gang member, and he's heard the stories. He knows how it goes. And even though the stories that he heard were true, it was some part of him wanting to believe the administration because they were so adamant in it. So adamant in it. So they told him, he said, look, the people at this facility that are a real risk to you, if they're on the list of people that you gave us, we're going to get rid of them. And then you might be uncomfortable for a while because we'll put you back out. And you might be uncomfortable for a while because people are going to give you those looks. But there's one thing that you can rest assured of. This is going to be hard for y'all to understand. They told him that. We're going to put you back out there. And the people that we put you back out on the compound with, they're not going to do anything. Most of them are just talk. Most of them just want to make people believe that they're still that dude. Now, that's risky. That's risky because, see, one of the ways that you can rehabilitate your reputation within the gangs is to do something that nobody would expect you to do. You understand? But most people don't jump that far. They don't take that leap. So after about a couple of weeks in the back, Taylor's getting antsy. And he's been hearing that they've been shipping people, they've been locking people up, and they've been moving people. Even a couple of people have been brought to the back with him that blew his mind. They're sitting at the table now talking and eating and playing dominoes and chess against one another. But none of them have the conversation that needs to be had, and that is, who did you tell on? Why are you back here? What's going on with you? They don't want to have the conversation because they believe if they don't have the conversation, they can convince themselves that they're still straight. And the day comes when the captain comes to the back and he tells Taylor to pack your stuff. You're going back to the compound. And he's scared to death. Scared to death. And when he comes back to the compound, he goes back to the same unit that he was in before. Why is that? Because the people that were a real threat to him, they're gone. The people that remain, they just talk. They just talk. That don't mean they won't do anything, but the chances are they won't do anything. because they have secrets that Crocket Correctional Facility knows about. And they use that to maintain order. They use it to maintain order. The secrets that the administration has about everybody that's locked up. And let me explain what I mean when I say secrets, y'all. They know, like I said before, who you've testified against, who you've told on in the past, who you've even cried to. They know. They know if you've gotten a lighter deal on a write-up and they told you that one day they were going to need a favor from you. Well, today that favor might be called in and they'll say, look, we're going to put such and such back on the compound. You don't have to mess with him. You can be angry at him, but don't put your hands on him. And that's one of the ways that Crocket stands out. Believe me. And like I told you before, at the beginning, see, Crocket can be any one of the prisons that I've been through in this state. But more broadly than that, it could be any one of the prisons in any state in this country. Things happen on a level that we find it hard to understand. But it happens. And now Taylor was a benefactor of that. They put him back out on the compound. But see, you remember I told you he was burnt, right? He's burnt. He's burnt. That means that he has to pretend to be this hard crip, but everybody knows he's not. So him being an asset to the administration was going to be difficult. But they knew that eventually, because history's shown them, he'll be able to be useful to them again. Not right now, but in the future. Because in the penitentiary, recycling happens all the time. Recycling happens all the time. This has been another episode of Doing Time with Joe. I'm your host, Joe Baker. Peace, y'all.
I'm getting so tired.